with those out there, and that's very interesting for me in terms of, you know, from if we are at that point where prisoners are actually, you know, able to have access to their cell phones and have a whole radio interview. Ria, we have some challenging times up ahead.
Definitely.
So folks, on the rundown this morning, we start this morning's conversation with Kay Trotman, the IDA candidate for Bonaccord Crown Point, and then we go in to chat with Dr. Phelim McSween, chiropractor, all right, and very familiar gentleman here in the Tobago space, doing his thing for a number of years. And who else do we have on the lineup this morning, Ria?
Coming up just after Dr. McSween, we're chatting with Lisa Beckles, and she has an event coming up called Cheers to Life. That is very interesting. It's interesting for all and sundry, particularly during this time.
Yes, and just very quick shout out to our viewers this morning. I see my family on. Denise Phillips out there in the US, originally from Hope, Tobago. Good morning to you. Kuki Melville, Simone, Travis, Ken, Latoya, Jenny, Edward. Good morning to each and every one of you. Please, folks, we remind you, continue to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Whoa! It's the Quartz Black Friday sale. With the best-selling brands, best deals, and best offers all month long. You don't want to miss your chance to save on wow deals. Save on smart TVs, major appliances, furniture, bedroom and dining, with lots more to choose from. Shop today with Quartz Ready Finance and pay nothing for 90 days. Don't miss this Black Friday sales event. Only at Quartz, bringing value home.
The following is a paid political advertisement.
Duke said he's willing to put up a fight to liberate Tobagonians and take the island to independence.
As the political leader of the PDP, we come down to negotiate our departure from Trinidad. We don't want Trinidad judicial system. We don't want that. We don't want to share no immigration. We don't want no air traffic control with Trinidad. We must have our own Prime Minister in Tobago. If it wasn't clear to you, let me tell you this. What I'm asking for is secession. What I'm asking for is secession. We need to move away from Trinidad. The Constitution dissolves. There's no longer Trinidad and Tobago. There's Trinidad by itself, Tobago by itself.
Yes, yes.
That was a paid political advertisement.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
The following is a paid political advertisement.
Think about the poor health care and jam the X in. Think about the poor educational system your children have to face with. Jam the X. When you think every time you can't go down in a pothole, jam the X. Every time you think that you are poor and you're needy and the food card flying elsewhere because you are perceived to be of a certain other color, certain other political loyalty, jam it. Put it right up inside.
PDP for the win now.
Morning, good morning, put a smile on you.
The following is a paid political advertisement.
If you are an honest politician, you must do something that is called a reflection.
Mr. Duke was officially charged on Sunday with 1 count of rape and 4 counts of sexual assault. All charges were laid indictably, so he was not called upon to plead.
If you are an honest politician, you must do something that is called a reflection.
Watson Duke is breaking the law, and had he been in another country, may be in jail.
Their pension plan is not registered with the central bank. In another country, he would have been making a jail by now.
And send me back to the polls if I end up with people on my team who want to thief.
A High Court ordered audit of the finances of the Public Services Association has revealed overspending to the tunes of millions of dollars and other practices that are not in keeping with the constitution of the PSA.
You see the THA election coming back up, so we know what's in you going and thief with money again.
I want the listenership to understand something. Only 2 persons
sign checks in the PSA. One is the primary signature of the president of the organization, which is Watson Duke. And I wish rather that across the region, across this country, that we have more politicians like me.
We have a competition, so we say you can take a tongue, you can use a tongue, looks totally hot. Take a look at that, real hot by opposed to it.
And I wish rather that across the region, across this country, that we have more politicians like me. We have a bunch of Tobagonians who are sellouts, who are house slaves. If you are an honest politician, you must do something that is called a reflection.
Well, more workers have been sent home, but it's coming from the quarter which fights against terminations, dismissals, and the like.
Today, the PSA's executive would have made a decision to send home 20 of its office staff. We will be running a very tight ship, a very hard ship.
And I wish rather that across the region, across this country, that we have more politicians like me.
We want independence from Trinidad. We must have our own Prime Minister in Tobago. We want our Chief Secretary's stupidness. If it wasn't clear to you, let me tell you this. What I'm asking for is secession. We need to move away from Trinidad. I hate them.
And so let's make some noise and thank our political leader.
That was a paid political advertisement.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning.
Morning, viewers. This is the Tobago Updates morning show coming to you live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. It is 7:11 a.m. and in this segment we are chatting with Kay Trotman. Some know her from the hospitality industry, and now she's presenting herself as the IDA candidate for Bonaccord Crown Point. Good morning, Kay.
Good morning, Juliet.
All right, well, you know the very first thing we have to start with. Some say I've known Kay for years in the hospitality industry. In fact, some who are close enough with you from as early as school days say, you know, if you were chatting with Kay a few years ago, she would say, no, I don't have time, not me and that politics thing. What prompted you to make that change and that transition to spread your wings beyond just the hospitality industry to enter and to present yourself electoral politics?
I did it because I recognize that Tobago is actually at a time of change. And a time of change where every one of us needs to consider how we are going to play a part in shaping what is going forward. I thought that, yes, I've spent my life in the hospitality industry. I've also spent a great part of my life in the entrepreneurship area of development for all micro entrepreneurs. And I think we needed a voice that helped to push Tobagonians to take up their responsibility, regardless of where we are at, and make a decision to be involved. Too many times we seem to comment, we seem to critique, but we don't go beyond that. So this journey for me was my way of saying, this time I am going to play actively in the role to not just be a part of the political landscape, just for the sake of being part of the political landscape, but for engaging people to make an active choice in determining how we leapfrog out of our current state.
Forward. So generally, and you know, I have had the experience as well where I've been in the private sector and then ventured into government. And there's a general understanding that as the business sector, there's a feel that, you know, when it comes to government operations, it's very different. The level of seriousness, the level of dedication, the extra effort, etc. is very different. How do you see yourself functioning in that realm, coming with your background from the private sector industry and now giving consideration to the public sector? How do you see yourself transitioning in that regard, or bringing those skill sets rather?
Well, the part of the skill sets that's going to come is from the part of championing the need for the population to become involved. It's not just a means of getting what you can from the government, but it is also a mean of what can we as individuals do with whatever resources we have, be they a lot or be they little. How can we use that we have to make an impact and to make a difference? And how can we work together? Because the business environment is also about the networking that you can do. and how you can interrelate with other businesses or other stakeholders to make a bigger impact. So that part of it, I'm wanting to bring into the
I'm happy that you spoke about the working together. So I can only anticipate naturally you would have been on your walkabout with the ability to engage with persons living within the Bonaccord Crown Point area in terms of residents and so on. And Bonaccord Crown Point is definitely one of those hubs for us in terms of thriving with business activity. But I want to look a little bit more towards the side of residents and those who live there. What would you identify that came to you as one of the major issues affecting the residents of Bonaccord Crown Point?
You know, one of the major issues, apart from people are complaining, especially the young people, about job opportunities, is the fact that people, young and old, wanted a different type of representation. A representation where they not only saw their representative, but their representative was partly and parcel engaged, taking their ideas, considering it, and bringing it into the development of the space. I think the residents want a kind of representation that allowed them to have an active part in shaping where they go. And that was quite interesting to me because, you know, sometimes we say people don't want to get involved. We may sit back and look at what is happening and say folks do not want to get involved. But I was pleasantly surprised that folks actually want to be involved. There's an element that want to make a mark on the space that they live. And the kind of engagement that is necessary for them now goes to that whole talk of participatory governance and what we like to call in the IDA consultative development. So where they go, they have a stake in it, they have skin in the game, so to speak, because they're already tuned in to what they need to do.
So one of the things that seems to be coming out very clearly from a number of when you hear from the IDA candidates, is speaking to that level of consulting, you know, as top priority. When you know, should you be successful and get into office, that's one of the first things you want to do. What kind of time frame do you think might be practical to facilitate that level of consultation, given that there may be some areas, in all honesty, that may require urgent attention, especially if the change does take place?
I think people are aware that there are certain things you just have to go into and do because it is already recognized that there are certain challenges that we have to do. But in terms of the longer term development and in terms of where you actually find yourself in as a community or as Tobago in the long term, that is the kind of engagement that people are talking about that needs the consultation. Because those long term developments, once they're in a gear, you are going down a particular road. So you need to get people engaged from that perspective. But there are short-term things that need to be done, and people are quite aware of that, whether it's the roads and floodings that happen within our community of Bonaccord, whether it is the joblessness of some of our young people, whether it's the lack of sport initiatives and how those come together. Those are some of the kind of quick fixes that most people are already in a gear with, so that you don't need a whole lot, as we would say, consultation. What you need, if I'm to put it into example for Bonaccord Crown Point, if it is you want to decide how that community, our community, is seen as a destination in Tobago, here is where your long-term, that level of consultation comes in, because you want people to buy into how are we going to reshape the face of Crown Point Bonaccord? What are we going to turn it into? That requires that kind of consultation that gets people and stakeholders to put their impact and mark on it.
So you know, you have started speaking to your residents so directly now. We have this airport project as one of the major components identified to move the tourism thrust forward. But what it would have naturally done is to cause some discomfort. In terms of some of our residents. What's the position, you know, yourself and by extension the IDA in relation to what has happened with regards to the Crown Point area and the moving out and the shifting of residents? I think we still have one or two in terms of still very not satisfied with the arrangement and so on. What's your thoughts in relation to that shift as per the commitment for development?
I think it is quite unfortunate in the manner in which the process was done. I think most folks are not anti the development of an airport that opens us up. What came into question was the process and how people in the midst of it were treated. And that is indeed unfortunate, because at the end of the day, it is still the same people that you want involved in the development going down the road. So that's why the whole issue of consultative development, a clear picture, recognizing that some of the moves that people would have to make would be hard, and at the same time understanding that in the Tobago space, the whole issue of land tenure has been a major area. And there needs to have been some better understanding of the government to the residents in terms of how that process should have taken place.
Now, one of the things that we want to also take note of, the relationship between Trinidad and Tobago. The current administration boasts that if you have the same party in Tobago and the same party in Trinidad, Tobago stands to benefit more. How does the IDA propose to deal with that challenge? Should the IDA be successful and we now have an IDA administration in Tobago and a PNM-led administration in Trinidad? How do you intend to ensure that we derive the same kind of, or in fact even greater benefits under the circumstances?
Well, you know, there are certain things that, regardless of which party goes there, there's certain allocation that comes to Tobago, any which way, and that will continue. But I think with a different administration, you now have the opportunity to champion different causes that are priority to Tobago. I think we would have seen in certain times, especially over these past, where we did have the same administration both ways, that it is felt that specific issues that are Tobago-centric are never really focused on, because you have to focus on the whole agenda of the National Party, so that Tobago issues become sidelined. And in honesty, if people were to be honest, they would recognize and say that. So that it gives us an opportunity to now champion the things that Tobago needs to have in order to develop, because then you are looking at making Tobago the focus and not so much the party the focus. So that I think an administration that is different, that has an idea of what Tobagonians, that's important to the Tobagonian for our development, would allow for greater discussion and push the envelope a little further.
All right. The Bonaccord Crown Point area is one that has raised issues traditionally with their roads.
Yes.
We have seen within the last few weeks or so that paving has taken place. Now we have the resultant complaint of flooding because of how the paving has taken place. What are your plans to deal with some of the drainage issues and so within the area of Bonaccord Crown Point, which is one of our low-lying areas in the Tobago space?
That requires a comprehensive overlook, because we've recognized that every time we come to an election and we have to do road paving, it doesn't take into consideration the actual topography and some of those underlying issues that would have caused the flooding in the first place. And I am sure that the flooding and the drainage issue does not just relate to just the typical road. It's the intertwining system of our sluice gate down at Pigeon Point, where the drainage emanates from in the first place. So we have to look at that whole area again from a topographical perspective, from an engineering perspective, to come up with some of the solutions, and not just look at that quick fix touch on the surface to get it done. So that in itself, from where I sit now, looks like it's going to be a comprehensive type of overhaul.
All right. So as we wrap this morning's interview, the PNM has presented Clarence as the man out there helping the people, food cards and otherwise. The PDP presents Joel Nutsi Sampson as the fix-it man. Why K. Trotman, the IDA candidate for Bonaccord Crown Point?
Because K. Trotman is a champion of change. We recognize that in this season, Tobago needs to jump from the level it's at onto another level, and that quantum leap requires us to think differently, to behave differently, to dream differently. In fact, it recognizes and it calls on us not to be limited by the fact that there's uncharted waters ahead of us. It calls us to say, hey, change is the only constant thing in life. And in order to go ahead, we need to let go of past to hold on to a future.
All right. Thank you very much, Kate
You're
Trotman.
welcome.
Folks, you've heard it there from Kate Trotman, champion of change. Gentlemen in Bonaccord, Crown Point, look out. Kay is coming for you as the champion of change, letting go of the past and holding on to the future. Thank you very much again, Kate Trotman, IDA candidate, and all the best in the upcoming elections on Monday, 6 December 2021. To our viewers, we continue to recognize good morning, Macan, good morning, Katie, Joan, Listra, Joel Tate, Aisha Melville, Adriel Wheeler, Nadine Nichols, Kanika Murray. We want to remind you all, remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
The following is a paid political advertisement.
All you're looking for is this symbol. PDP! And I want that to be the message across the island. When you're going your polling stations, wherever they may be, from Charlottesville to Crown Point, all you are looking for is the bamboo bulife.
PDP for the win now.
That was a paid political advertisement.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
The following is a paid political advertisement.
Duke said he's willing to put up a fight to liberate Tobagonians and take the island to independence.
As the political leader of the PDP, we come down to negotiate our departure from Trinidad.
We don't want Trinidad judicial system. We don't want that. We don't want to share no immigration. We don't want no air traffic control with Trinidad. We must have our own prime minister in Tobago. If it wasn't clear to you, let me tell you this. What I'm asking for is secession. What I'm asking for is secession. We need to move away from Trinidad.
Constitution dissolves. There's no longer Trinidad and Tobago. There's Trinidad by itself, Tobago by itself.
Yes, yes.
That was a paid political advertisement.
Good morning, good morning, Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning. Good morning.
Viewers, welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are chatting this morning with Dr. Pelham Andre McSween. No stranger, we're no strangers. No stranger to Tobago, that is. Good morning and welcome to you, Dr. McSween.
Good morning and thank you for having me here.
It is a pleasure to have you this morning on the Tobago Updates Morning Show.
Oh, thank you, and it's a pleasure seeing you after I haven't seen you for a while.
A long while, yes. It's good to see you as well.
Thank you.
Now this morning we are talking about x-rays, the essential prerequisite for chiropractic care.
Yes.
Now we want to start a little bit about what you do for our Tobago Updates viewers who are not familiar with you. you are a chiropractor. Give us an idea of what chiropractic is all about.
Right. Well, I'm a medical doctor, as well as you well aware, yeah? And I'm a doctor of chiropractic. Chiropractic is about your spine and your spine only. And what chiropractors deal with are basically what is called vertebral subluxations. And these vertebral subluxations cause disease and pain and discomfort.
Right.
So that's what I deal with as a chiropractor, as a practicing chiropractor.
Okay. Now I know you are referred to as the man who does crack back.
Yes.
You get that sometimes.
Yes, yes,
All right.
yes.
So you deal mainly with the spine.
Yes, adjusting the spine.
Okay.
Adjusting the spine. I don't crack. There are probably people out there who crack and stuff.
But you don't crack.
I can't crack. If I had to crack, then I'd still perform as a medical doctor.
Okay. Now you've had your office here in Tobago for a number of years.
All right, for some 15 years, I think, Rhea.
Right.
And I come here diligently.
That's right. And then you have your office in Trinidad.
Yes.
And then there's an office in Grenada.
Yes, I have a practice in St. Patrick's, Grenada. Actually, Mr. Parks spent some time at my office, he and the wife, when they just got married and stuff, on the house, free of cost. I hope they enjoyed it. But it's now closed since September because of the upsurge they had after what we call the jab thing.
Right.
So I'm being very precautious and cautious to ensure that I don't get ill.
That's
and as you see, I come here every month. I'm scared of COVID like hell, but but I use all precautions. I use the W's. I follow what I need to follow to protect me, so I could deliver care to my patients.
All right. Let's jump right into what we're talking about this morning: X-rays.
Yes.
You've got your X-ray machine, and there is a slide up. So explain to our viewers what we're talking about.
Right. Well, this X-ray here. I have a digital pointer here, but it's not showing up as good. But this X-ray here deals with the lumbar spine, thoracolumbar spine. And we're looking at a steel rod in a patient's back, which is referred to as a Harrington rod.
A Harrington?
Yes, a Harrington rod.
We're seeing it here now. We're seeing it up on the screen.
Right, it's a Harrington rod. And these rods are put in depending on the curvature of your spine. You may have a scoliosis, and if it's beyond some 37, sometimes less, they would want to put the rod in to kind of inhibit more curvature of the spine.
37 in age?
In degrees.
In degrees.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about the possible age of the patient who would require this rod.
Yeah.
Would it be in a younger patient, or can it also occur?
Well, it can be. This prosthesis can be put into most patients if they need it, but usually it occurs at a younger age.
A younger age.
Yes, where the orthopedic specialist may have picked it up and he recommended it and the parents went for it.
All right, and you said it could have occurred in a patient who has scoliosis.
Well, it does
in
that type of patient, yes.
Okay, scoliosis. Now explain to our viewers this morning what you mean by scoliosis.
Right, scoliosis is an abnormal curvature of the spine. We have three curvatures of the spine that are normal. We have the lordotic curve, which is in the cervical spine. We have the kyphotic curve, which is in the thoracic spine. And we have another lordotic curve, which is in the lumbar spine. And you can see those curves looking at the patient from a lateral view.
Okay.
Right. But if you look at the patient from an A to P view or a P to A view, you would see the scoliosis. The A to P is anterior to posterior. The patient is standing facing you, and the PA posterior to anterior, you could be behind the patient's back. But you will see that curvature, and you would see it's abnormal, or you would see the degrees of it, and you can measure the degrees of it to know what degree curvature it is.
Okay, and this is, and I want to make a not make a plug, but actually, ask parents to be aware of these curves, these curvatures in their children. Absolutely. All right.
Especially when they're bathing them. Remember we went through that some years ago?
Yes.
I mean, you're bathing your child and you don't know your child has a hip that's high and one low, that kind of thing. So I see you're not being observant. Yes.
At what age are these things evident?
Oh, you can pick it up pretty early, 6, 7, you can pick it up early. Very early.
You would see it. I mean, but nowadays, most of our children are online, so there's no heavy school bag and stuff to cause
Well,
any damage.
they sit badly and they keep their neck like this.
Because in front of the
the
electronic
computer all the
devices.
time. Yes, I love the internet, trust me, but it does harm to the kids when they keep their neck like this. But nevertheless, the focus is how early can they can see that in the child. Very early, very early. I don't take X-rays at a certain age because your ischial spines are open, and when your ischial spines are open, I have more flexibility with my adjustments of the spine. But they can pick it up pretty early. You're bathing the child, put the child to stand up, put your arms on the hips, and you're going to see one hip going up, one hip going down. So you know this is kind of concern, something for concern. Have the child bend over, put your hands on your knees, and you would see the big curve, and you would see that hump, if there is a hump at the age. So take the child to the orthopedic specialist. He may recommend something. He may recommend some lift on the shoes. He may recommend a number of adjuncts so that could assist the child. But if you see that, take the child in for inspection.
All right, and it's not just about doubling up on calcium.
No.
We love
Waste
to
of time.
self-medicate in Trinidad and
Waste
Tobago.
of time.
So we see
Feed
something wrong with
calcium is like chocolate. The feed calcium is like chalk, like what you write on the board with. Calcium is the metal.
So we've got to be careful.
Of course, you don't want a lot of the calcium out there in your system, because I have seen in Grenada, I've had a patient, one patient, her wife comes in, she's taking calcium. She's been taking calcium for 5 days, and the husband feel it was good for him too. So he started taking the calcium too. When he first came in, I said, listen, I need x-rays. And send them for x-rays, they come back, all the calcium pills in the stomach. I pointed out once on Channel 5. So we gotta be careful of that. Get your calcium from your leafy green vegetables. I love bhaji, I love kalaloo.
Leafy vegetables,
Leafy
yes.
green vegetables, and it does the trick.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so
My focus on this today is that I've been confronted on various times by clients coming into me and wanting care. You know my forte. You come to me, I need x-rays.
Yes, you do not like to
Trust
treat
me,
persons without.
because I'm not Superman. I've said this over and over. I have no x-ray vision, so I can't see your spine. You go to the cardiologist, he can't just look at you and look at your heart. You got to send for certain tests.
Right.
The nephrologist is the same thing. But the spine, the plain x-rays, shows up a number of issues. And it tells you where your problem may possibly be.
Right.
And what's the cause of all the pain that you come and discomfort you come into me for. So the x-rays are my first defense. And if there were no x-rays, it would have been very difficult for me. I would have to be a magician. I had to be a magic magician because, man, I don't know where his spine is. So I would be having serious problems. And I would have had serious problems with even developing wealth, because I would have felt that it wasn't the way to go.
Right.
But you have such a client coming into you, and they're not giving you critical information, critical clinical data on themselves.
Right.
You know, you have an accident 20 years ago. You had a surgery 20 years ago. You must remember that, especially if it was major surgery.
Right.
So the problem I've been experiencing is that persons coming to me and they tell me little or nothing about themselves, because I want to analyze and critically analyze what you're coming to me for.
Right.
I don't want your money, you know. So don't feel that I waiting for your money. I want to give you care, and that's why you're coming to me.
Right.
And so a few months ago, before I get into this, I had a patient come in with the wife. They sat there, they fill out my patient information form, and then he gave the form to me. I looked at it, and he answered what he wanted to answer. And I said, let me see your x-ray. He brought the x-ray. And when I looked at the x-ray, 2 bones were missing.
2 of his bones?
2 bones were missing in the lower back. So what I did, I said, stand please. I said, bend over, put your hands on your knees. And he put his hands on his knee, and I saw an incision. So I said, have a seat, sir. He sat down, and I said, you know, all throughout this form, you didn't tell me you have surgery. So the wife looked at me and she said, I said, yeah. I said, why? I mean, you have nowhere in this that you had surgery.
Right.
And he
I'm
said,
sure
well,
the
how you know?
question was on the
The
form.
next question, how you know that? I said, because there are 2 bones here missing in your lower back that I used to break. I used this one Dr. Polanco. doing orthopedic surgery. I'm the man that used to break the spinous processes to pull out the disc. I don't shave any disc, I pull them out. All right? And so I say, you have 2 bones you're missing. Then the wife say, oh yes, you know. So a chiropractor must be careful.
Yeah,
you can't read it's critical information. So this patient came into me, said, well, I have a hip pain. And I said, do you have x-rays? No. Do you have x-rays at all? Long time ago. I said, why didn't you bring them with you? Well, doctor, I didn't know you need x-rays. I said, huh? So he has this pain. I say, have you had any accidents? Well, you know, doc, yeah, I had an accident, you know. My vehicle turnover and stuff, and I broke my femur. I said, that's it? He said, yes. I said, okay. I said, come on into my adjustment room, and I tell him to take off his shirt. And he gave me no other information, right? That's exposing me to malpractice. Right. And when I took off his shirt, I saw a scar on his back. So I called up my lab that I usually get my x-rays from in San Fernando, and I sent them a request. So I said, go and get these x-rays for me. When he came back, he had a broken Harrington rod in his back. Right close to the apex of his lung. Close up. That means you didn't give me that information.
Had you adjusted him without this x-ray, what could have happened?
I'm in trouble. That's what could have happened. I'm in trouble because I would have injured the gentleman. And I certainly don't want to do that and stuff. And I said, man, why didn't you give me the information I'm asking? My dog, he went to another chiropractor and somebody referred him to me. So I say that's a setup.
All right. Well, we've got to wrap up.
I know.
Yes, our time is short. So some closing comments from you.
I hope I continue to propagate and say that chiropractors who can practice chiropractic, get your x-rays. Those x-rays are critical.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Andre Pelham-McSween. Pelham Andre McSween.
Pelham Andre McSween, I came from Laventille, you know that. And Andre Pelham McSween is from when I went away.
We'll go with Pelham Andre McSween.
Good, thank you.
So, viewers, we continue to encourage you this morning to share the live, Lots more coming up on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. Share the live.
The following is a paid political advertisement.
If you are an honest politician, you must do something that is called a reflection.
Mr. Duke was officially charged on Sunday with 1 count of rape and 4 counts of sexual assault. All charges were laid indictably, so he was not called upon to plead.
If you are an honest politician, you must do something that is called a reflection.
Watson Duke is breaking the law, and had he been in another country, maybe in jail.
Their pension plan is not registered with the central bank. For in another country, he would have been making a jail by now.
And send me back to the polls if I end up with people on my team who want to thief.
A High Court ordered audit of the finances of the Public Services Association has revealed overspending to the tunes of millions of dollars and other practices that are not in keeping with the constitution of the PSA.
You see the THA election coming back up, so we know Watson Duke going and thief with money again.
I want the listenership to understand something. Only 2 persons sign checks in the PSA. One is the primary signature of the president of the organization, which is Watson Duke.
And I wish rather that across the region, across this country, that we have more politicians like me.
We have a competition, so we say you can take a tongue, you can use a tongue, it looks totally hot. Take a look at that, real hot by opposed to it.
And I wish rather that across the region, across this country, that we have more politicians like me. We have a bunch of Tobagonians who are sellouts, who are house slaves. If you are an honest politician, you must do something that is called a reflection.
While more workers have been sent home, but is coming from the quarter which fights against terminations, dismissals and the like.
Today, the PSA's executive would have made a decision to send home 20 of its office staff. We will be running a very tight ship, a very hard ship.
And I wish rather that for across the region, across this country, that we have more politicians like me.
We want independence from Trinidad. We must have our own Prime Minister in Tobago. We have our Chief Secretary. Stupidness. If it wasn't clear to you, let me tell you this. What I'm asking for is secession. We need to move away from Trinidad. I hear them.
And so let's make some noise and thank our political leader.
That was a paid political advertisement. The following is a paid political advertisement.
Think about the poor health care and jam the X in. Think about the poor educational system your children have to face with. Jam the X. When you think every time you can't go down in a pothole, jam the X. Every time you think that you are poor and you're needy and the food card flying elsewhere because you are perceived to be of a certain other color, certain other political loyalty, jam it. Put it right up inside.
BDP for the win now. That was a paid political advertisement.
Good morning, put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning,
Viewers, welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. And now we head over to the good stuff. In our good stuff this morning, we are saying huge congratulations to Kelsey Daniel. He claimed the silver medal with a huge personal best jump of 7.9. This is TNT's second medal in track and field at the Pan American Junior Games in Cali, Colombia. Kelsey is a member of Kaizen Panthers out of Tobago. So congratulations going out to you this morning, Kelsey Daniel. Now viewers, if you know someone or anything that you'd like to have featured on the good stuff, please email us at info@tobagoupdates.com or call or WhatsApp 284-6597. Now, this morning we are chatting with my very good friend, Lisa Beckles. She is a business consultant and we're talking about Cheers to Life, the event. Lisa, good morning and welcome to you.
Good morning, Ria. It is so good to be here.
It's good to have you on the program with us.
Yes, it's really, really a pleasure.
Lisa, let's talk about Cheers to Life. What is Cheers to Life?
Okay, I'm so glad you asked. So Cheers to Life is one in a series of what we call transformational mind spa events, but this time combined with a lime. So what's a mind spa? That's a term that just came to me a few years ago to describe events that we have where we encourage people to come to a place where you can reflect on life. You can really think about what you're doing and where you want to go. So it's a challenge to your mindset usually. So in the past, I've had 3 events. They were admin professionals day events called Refresh and Refocus You, 1, 2, and 3 over the years. And then what happened is that this year, January, was a slightly different concept. New year, new wings, my time to soar, in which we brought people into one space virtually, because by then we had to switch to the virtual thing. So virtually we brought people into a space, we brought different experts in, and we sat, reflected on life and planned for the year ahead, 2021, with different experts. So now we're at just about the ending of December.
Yes.
And the thing is that if a lot of people are like I am and many of us, we go from year to year doing resolutions and goal setting and so on at the end of December into January. And then a lot of times we just go into the cycle all over again of doing the resolutions all over without reflecting on how has the year been. what have I accomplished in this area or not? How do I feel about what I've done this year or who I've been this year?
Right.
So Cheers to Life now is a time where we will get together. Yes, it's going to be virtual, unfortunately. Or fortunately, actually, a wider forum. We're going to get together and reflect on the past year in different aspects of our life, guided by different experts and personalities. So we'll reflect, but at the end of the day, regardless of what you felt you've done or not done, or who you've been, and I wanted to be this, I wanted to do that, we are going to say, in the midst of what has been such a dark year for many, we're going to say, cheers to life. We are still here. 2021 has virtually finished and we are still here. Every single day, most people, at least in Tobago, certainly in Trinidad and Tobago, we hear of at least one person that has died, somebody in COVID. Yesterday, 2 persons that I know died. I have 3 friends right now dealing with COVID. One went to the hospital yesterday. So we are surrounded by so much death and darkness. It has reminded many of our mortality, and this is a time to step out a bit, reflect on the past, be thankful for life right now, look ahead, and better yet, after the, let's say, webinar component, you're going to get to socialize with different sets. We have breakout rooms for the single persons, the married couples, so we're going to have marriage mentors, so we talk the different, and we also have a business networking room. So if you prefer to just continue business discussions, you do that room. So that in a nutshell is what Cheers to Life is all about.
Now we're talking about one's mental state here. This is not about your it's not about it's not a spa for your muscles, it's not to relax and inhale all of the lavender scents. No, this is about one's mental state.
Yes, it's a check-in time.
Yeah. How crucial is that, particularly at this time?
It is essential at this time because a lot of us don't think about what we've really been through since March 2020, at least in this nation. But really, the constant parade of hearing about people sick, of hearing about people dying, of hearing about somebody's lost their job, of the struggling business. I'm a solopreneur, and I could tell you that things have not been quite easy for myself and a lot of other persons, especially fempreneurs. And if you sit to consider all the different challenges that are coming to you from every direction, or let's add to that online learning and the dear parents who have to be home dealing with that, we are being hit by an increasing number of stressors at every angle. And we often just get caught up in going through the daily motions. I'm doing this today. You get like a hamster. You're just going around, and not taking the time to do the check-in. And really, our mental states have come under some pressure. And it's time for people to pay some attention to what's going on with you, aside from the body that we look at first.
All right. Who is this for? Who is Cheers for Life for? Cheers
to life.
Cheers to life.
Cheers to life. Let me say, cheers to life is for anyone adult, let's say, that this vision resonates with, of a time that you can come apart, reflect on your year, start thinking about the year ahead, and meet new people while you just take a break from the monotony of the, let's say, death march.
Yes.
Right? So it's for singles, it's for married people as well. Right? It's for the young and the not so young, because even if
I'm glad you didn't say old.
Yes, I don't believe in like old, like when people ask me how old I am now, I say I am XYZ, I'm 51 years young. That's what I tell people.
Good for you, 51, Lisa.
Well, praise the Lord, he's keeping.
That's right. Lisa, how can persons make contact with you to register for Cheers to Life?
So if you're on social media, Facebook in particular, when you go onto the Facebook page, Lisa Beckles Consulting, you simply click the link that is on that page. It leads you to a Google form, and you register via that. You'll be followed. That would be followed. Your registration will be followed by an email giving you payment instructions. You may also send an email as well to l.p.beckles, BECKLES, @gmail.com. l.p.beckles, BECKLES, gmail.com. Right? So we can send the link there to you if you're not on Facebook, for example.
Thank you so much, Lisa Beckers, for chatting with us this morning. And viewers, it's all about Cheers to Life, the event. It's a mind spa.
Yes.
It's causing you to stop, reflect, and plan ahead for 2022.
Yes.
So, viewers, we're going to take that break. When we come back, Julian is going to join us as we look to wrap up. So we, you know, there's still time to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Whoa! It's the Quartz Black Friday sale. With the best-selling brands, best deals, and best offers all month long. You don't want to miss your chance to save on wow deals. Save on smart TVs, major appliances, furniture, bedroom and dining, with lots more to choose from. Shop today with Quartz Ready Finance and pay nothing for 90 days. Don't miss this Black Friday sales event. Only at Quartz, bringing value home.
The following is a paid political advertisement.
All you're looking for is this symbol. PDP! And I want that to be the message across the island. When you're going your polling stations, wherever they may be, from Charlottesville to Crown Point, all you are looking for is the bamboo bully fee.
PDP for the win now. That was a paid political advertisement. The following is a paid political advertisement.
Think about the poor health care and jam the X in. Think about the poor educational system your children have to face with. Jam the X. When you think every time you can't go down in a pothole, jam the X. Every time you think that you are poor and you're needy and the food card flying elsewhere because you are perceived to be of a certain other color, certain other political loyalty, jam it. Put it right up inside.
PDP for the win now. That was a paid political advertisement.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Good morning, good morning, put a smile on your put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning.
Good morning, viewers, and
morning.
welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. In this segment, folks, we go to this day in Tobago history. Devon Adana.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Fine, thank you.
All right. This day in Tobago history. Did you know that on today, December 2nd, in 2015, Tobago celebrated its first Tobago Day? According to the Tobago House of Assembly website, 6 years ago today, a commemorative series of events would kick off the inaugural Tobago Day celebration. The theme for Tobago Day in that year was "The Journey Continues." Tobago Day replaced what was formerly Assembly Day, customarily celebrated on December 4th. Assembly Day celebrated the re-establishment of the Tobago House of Assembly in 1980 and its contribution to the development of Tobago. However, the newly reimagined Tobago Day in 2015 expanded the focus beyond the Assembly to the entire island. On that first Tobago Day, Joyful Joyful was the name of the free praise and worship event held at Shore Park Complex. The Tobago Day exhibition, which ran on December 2nd and 3rd, featured displays from the various divisions and allied agencies. This year's Tobago Day celebration kicked off at Shore Park on November 29th. The theme of this year's celebration is Realizing Our Resilience, and the Tobago Day Awards is the jewel in the crown of the 2021 celebration, which will be held on December 4th at Shore Park, showcasing Tobagonians who have provided distinguished and outstanding service on the island. My name is Devon Adana. You've been watching This Day in Tobago History. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Devon, there, and certainly a moment for us to celebrate within the Tobago space. We had the chairman and members of the committee on yesterday talking about the Tobago Day celebrations. So it's something really for us to be proud of in our Tobago space, particularly as you referred to the transition Rhea, from what was Assembly Day, Devon, and moved into the realm of celebrating Tobago.
Yes, exactly. Are you guys matching today? Was that plan? You all didn't give me the memo. I'm feeling a little left out.
Devon, there was absolutely no plan.
No plan.
I was surprised as you were when Julian walked in here this morning. Someone peeped on someone. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
No, I like
but
it.
The yellow
though.
does
like
look. The yellow does look fantastic. Julian apparently has been working all of the political colors for the entire week, so we can just wait to see what's happening with him tomorrow.
You know, you wear the same clothes all time through the year and it's fine, but when you do it in this election season, Devon, they say you belong to a party.
It's problematic. All right, guys, have a good day.
All right, you take care, Devon.
Well. All right, thank you so much there, Devon Adana. Well, Julian, I'm waiting to see what color you're coming with tomorrow. I won't hint. You've won almost, what, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay. Let's see what's happening with you tomorrow. So we just want to remind our viewers of our sponsors this morning before we go. So we're saying thank you this morning to the Port Mall.
Certainly we're saying thanks as well to Quartz.
Definitely, and to the Hair Sanctuary, located right here at the Port Mall, level 2.
Yes, and we have Rushad's men's store, located down there at Le Chateau in Mount Pleasant.
All right, and House of Norma, Caroline Birchwood James, saying thank you so much to you guys for your support for the Tobago Updates morning show. Tobago Updates is indigenous with Tobago. It is all Tobago. It is all Tobago, and I have to say here again, all Tobago.
And we want to continue to thank our viewers for the love and support. And I think this quote, this statement by one of our viewers, Babesy Ramdial, good morning, good morning. It's a wonderful morning. Looking on, it's the best morning show ever. Thank you very much, and thanks to all our viewers for the continued love and support here for the Tobago Updates morning show. Humble Blessed Chick, yes, Macan morning. Chantel Melville, Rhea. You know, Chantel did an interview with us earlier. I had the benefit of Jira Things and Chantel catering last night for the birthday celebrations. Amazing, Chantel Melville. Excellent, well done.
She can turn stone.
Excellent, excellent. She did exceptionally well. So we want to continue to thank all our viewers. Thank you for the continued love and support. And Rhea, tomorrow is Friday.
It's Friday, and I like how you said it when we started the show this morning, that we are 1 day away from the end of the week. So, you know, we're looking at just about 3 days to the upcoming THA elections.
Correct.
A lot's going to be happening this weekend. We want to encourage persons to stay safe, wear your mask. I mean, you know, we do not want to see the increase in numbers. This is what it is. We will have to live with COVID-19. But we want to encourage persons to please maintain some social distancing over the next few days. I understand that there will be a list attached to polling stations for persons who are to be on quarantine, because that's a very important issue. If you're on quarantine, you cannot come out and vote. And I'm saying here, political parties need to be responsible. Do not encourage persons to come out and vote if they are on quarantine.
And we also want to remind our viewers that yes, you have been asking for it, And we wish to confirm that we will be doing election night coverage coming to you here from Tobago Updates. So we'll be encouraging you to tune in. And if you saw nomination day any at all coming from the Tobago Updates, you know it's going to be great. You know it's going to be fantastic. So we're encouraging you to tune in to the Tobago Updates for your election night coverage.
This is where you want to be, viewers. This is where you want to be. So tune in to the Tobago Updates morning show, Tobago Updates election coverage, that is. Okay? You want to be tuned in to Tobago Updates. Well, Julian, we're going to leave it there for today. So thank you so much, Tobago, for joining us. Have a great day. Stay safe on the island's roads. Wear your mask. Sanitize. And socially distance. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning.